Hey, hey, sounds like the cat's out of the bag. You have found Allegiant Web Wise, where for you web agencies, we discuss the business of being a web business. Hi guys, welcome back to Allegiant Web Wise. This week it's me, Martin, joined by my colleague Gill. From last week's AI conversation with Mike, Mike's had to go and lie down on a hot beach somewhere to recover. So we're going to step into some actual detail now about building a website and live on this podcast. So do not go away. We are going to build a website right now, live in front of your eyes. Over to Gill.
Oh, that's really exciting. Missed you guys last week. I hope you didn't have too much fun without me. So today I thought we would use a tool. Let me just find it, this one, and it's called Zip WP. Now I'm going to share, I have to share my screens to let you guys see it. Just give me one little second to do that. And here we go. Zip WP. So I signed up for this a wee while ago and have managed to get into it. Oh, wait a minute. It thinks I've done another website and I hadn't since about 5 minutes ago. Anyway, right. I've got one chance left, so this better work on the first take. Okay, so this tool is brilliant, and Martin, you know the guy that, or you know about the guy that developed this, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, he describes himself as the bold guy on YouTube, and obviously we were separated at birth. But Adam Prizer is one of the guys who is behind ZipWP. He's behind another or several other products that you may have heard of. Shortcut, which is a Woo competitor. Astra theme, I think, or Spectra theme is one of his. So when I say him, he's obviously got teams of people behind there. But yeah, ZipWP is one of these tools that will allow you to generate a WordPress website out of thin air. So for everybody who's listening as opposed to watching, we're now going to look at Jill's screen, and she's going to actually generate a WordPress website for us, and we'll try and describe what's happening. Gill.
Yep, brilliant. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm in the dashboard and there's a big box that says let's get started and create new. So I'm going to just dive right into that. Create new, and you get the choice of either a blank website or a complete website. So I'm going to go for a complete website, and then you can select what is this website for. Is it a business, restaurant, organization, person, event, a landing page? I'm going to go for an organization and then click next. Then,
just to ask you a quick question, Gill, just before you go ahead. So you've already gone onto your hosting provider and you've installed a blank version of WordPress before you did this?
No, I did nothing. I just logged into ZipWP. That's all I've done. Yep.
Okay.
Right there and then. Yeah. So let's give this organization a name, and let's call it Zippity Doodah.
That's brilliant. You should copyright that.
I should. Yeah. I think probably the domain name's probably taken, mind you. Okay, we're going to continue on. Okay, what is zippitydoodah.org? Please describe the organization, it's asking me. So you want to describe it as much as you possibly can. So the details that you would normally put in a website, so you want their services, their programs, their mission, their vision, anything you can get your hands on, you can do that. They also have a little option underneath to write using AI. So if you click on that, it will give you some kind of made up nonsense. So I've just clicked on that and it's told me that it's a dynamic organization dedicated to fostering positive change and empowerment and blah, 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 using education and stuff like that. Well, I want Zippity-Doo to be a church, let's say a church, because I do a lot of work with charities and church type organizations. So it's a modern urban, oh man, my back.
Doesn't sound like a few spelling issues there. That's the thing
I
with
know.
typing live on a podcast.
Church.
And while Jill's typing in that, if anybody hasn't used prompts before and they keep talking about, the quality of what you get out is very much into how good your prompt is. Making little spelling typos doesn't really matter too much. Okay, the AI is smart enough to know, unless you've made some glaring thing. It's more about being very specific, describing what you want. So don't worry too much about the odd typo. And Jill's just typing in now about the type of church that she wants to create a website for. It's an urban church of the clean mind. Interesting. So, and then
my
she's
mind. Sunday meetings. So I'm putting in some of the services that they have. So they've got their Sunday meetings, they've got some mentoring, they've got feedback, they've got youth work. They're really good. They do community development. I don't know what that means, but development.
Okay, so while Jill's typing that in, the overall approach for this program, much as you would do as a web designer yourself, first of all, identify who's the website going to be for. So, try and get as close as you can to your ideal client. What's the name of the organization? And now what Gill is doing is describing the organization. And the next step when we get there will be about some image work. But this is the same process, that the AI is using as conceptually you would use, if you're designing a website in the traditional way.
Brilliant. So I've just put in a whole bunch of stuff and I'm going to improve using the AI so it will give me a bit more because I've just put a little paragraph. And then, do you know what? Let's just go for it now. So I'm hitting continue now and we're going to go in. Now, what we want to do is giving us a whole bunch of images that we could use. Now it's given me a lot of church images because I used the word church in there, so they can be, so the images can be a little bit hit or miss, but it gives you some other options to suggestions. So if I click spiritual growth, it gives me some quite different ones and some plants and things. I like them. I'll have some plants and yeah, some growth. That sounds good. Some nice.
And we can see that this is integrated with the likes of Pixabay and Pexels and the other free platforms for images. So it's created a load of stock images based on stuff that's in the usual repositories that you might use.
So I've selected a number of them, and I'm just going to head off and continue with that. And let's see. So how can they contact you? They've got a wee contact form. So we've got the contact form would be Gill at zippidydoodah.com, and my phone number is very easy to remember, 12345, and my address is Happy Street. Happy Street. Well, that's fine as well.
And you can see, guys, I mean, obviously the words that the address, phone number, and address that Jill's putting in is obviously made up stuff for the purposes of this demo. And the point is that once you've created the website, you can go back in and change those to real things at that point.
Absolutely. And you can skip these steps as well. So some of them can be skipped if you want, but obviously the more you put in, the better it's going to come out. So then once you've put this minimal amount of information in, it's going to take a little minute to just produce a few structures. So it's given me a choice of 1, 2, 3, 4, is it loads actually? There's loads of different types. So there's 7 options that you can choose from. 7 options is pretty darn good, I think, actually, because, I only give a client maybe 2 or 3 options if I'm giving them any at all. So yeah, so I quite like this big hero saying, well, no, let's what did you think? Any preferences, Martin?
Take the third one, whatever it was.
Third one, whatever that is, right?
Yep, there we go.
Third one, yeah, let's have that one. So I'm going to select that one, and then we'll keep moving on. There we go. And then you can add some more features you want. So you can collect some donations. You can add some automation and integrations. Let's just keep this a little bit simple just now. You can add sales funnels, video players, and some live chat as well. So I'm going to put the chat on and some donations, and let's see how it handles that.
And that's a really good demonstration again of how fast this moves on. I haven't used this particular piece of software for about 3 months now, and several of those options just weren't there. But the fact that Gill's put in a church and it's gone, okay, well, donation seems to make sense.
Yeah.
I am going to assume here that if you'd gone for a different type of organization, you wouldn't have had the option for donations, but it makes sense for a church. So up it's produced. It's amazing to see how far it's moved in this short time.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a lot to play around with in there in terms of the different organizations. Unfortunately, because I'm on the free version, you only get 3 goes at this. So we're kind of, and I'm on my 3rd one because I've been playing around with it. But anyway, here we go. So it's telling me, congratulations. I love that positive affirmation that it gives me that I've done a good job. We're nearly there. Hit the final button, quickly double check everything, and start building the website. Let's go for it and see where this takes us. So it's just doing its thing. It's building. And then it's telling me now we are building your website. It's got a little timer. It's going to just take her a minute to do that. And actually, considering that's it now at 36%, considering it's building a whole website with images, with text, with everything included, this is utterly Speedy Gonzales, if anybody remembers that from the olden days.
Yeah, so I mean, from the start of our podcast, we've chosen an organization. We put in some details. We've been given 7 different options of the website style that we would like. We've chosen the website style that we like and asked it to build the website. And it's taken, I'd say, just under 2 minutes to build the website from that point to saying it's completed. It's just adding the final touches at the moment.
Yeah, so that's it. It's 90%, and then it gets stuck. It's not. It's like all of these. What do you call them? They're not timers. What are they? These level things to see how much is passed. They all go really fast, and then they stop for 10 minutes in one point, and that's a Microsoft trick. From
I was going to say Microsoft updates, famous, for redefining the whole time dimension. So, I mean, just while that's finishing off, Gill, obviously this is not the first one that you've built with this. Once the website is ready, what can you actually do with it? And having said that, there you go. This website is ready. We get a load of confetti to confirm that.
So
we've got our login credentials as well, username, password, etc.
Isn't that amazing?
To customize. Okay.
So it gives you a wee URL that you can go to, and then you've got your username and password. So I'm going to the URL, just copy the username, and
so Jill's going to log into the back end of this website now, I think.
I'm going to just type in the username, and it's not intended for live traffic. So it's giving me some. Please, it's telling me that I need to actually tell it. I've done a horrible thing, and now it won't let me. Delete.
And I guess for the people on audio, what I should really do now is describe Jill's face as she's doing this live.
So I'll tell you. Yeah, so I've just logged in. It's asking you a question, which is, do you understand this is not really for live consumption? And of course, I spilled my tea in my computer the other day, and the back button doesn't work. So I typed in Anyway.
So there you are, from Allegiant Web Wise, our top tech tip.
Yes.
Don't spill tea on your computer.
Do not drink it even near your laptop. So anyway, there we go. We've got this website. It's come up now that I've stopped being an idiot, and it's given us a website with it's using some of the images that we found. It's got some It's got a nice button telling us to join us. Forward-thinking urban church dedicated to spiritual growth and community well-being. It's really put some things together. It's put some services together, mentoring, Sunday meetings, community outreach, and added some other images. It's got a bit about our story. It's made up some random story, which is brilliant. Gives you a starter for 10 for clients, because I think sometimes the hardest thing is starting with a blank page. So even if they go, oh, this is all nonsense, they go, oh, well, but actually, oh yeah, we've got 10 years of experience. Well, we've got 8 years of experience. And that just gives them a wee starter for 10, and then that'll get them going. Why you have to go to it. It's got holistic support, community impact. I mean, it's just got like, I think it's done a brilliant job about it. And it's got a home page and about page. I'll click through to that so you can just see that it's not just the home page it generates, it's the whole kit and caboodle, offerings, all your services and stuff like that, and then a join us page, which is basically your contact, and it puts a contact form on it. It's got all your socials if you've got any, and that's absolutely amazing. But I think for me, the most amazing thing was that you can actually go to the admin section and you can log in using the credentials that they gave us, and I'm just doing that now. Oh, did I just do that properly? I think is that
just while Gill's logging into the back end of there, I think it's quite an interesting point that, you know, we've often built websites and perhaps put some stock images in, and traditionally it's been a case of creating some lorem ipsum just to show, you know, roughly the size of text. And I know there's different chains of thought about whether it's better to put that in rather than real text, because clients start to read real text and focus on that as opposed to the overall layout. But when the text is roughly right, but like Gill said, it's not quite what they want, I tend to find for most people that's helpful, because it does help them to go, oh no, I want to say this, compared with, as you say, a blank page. And in effect, lorem ipsum is either a blank page from copy point of view, or you still get people going, what's that Latin stuff? Why have you done that?
Yeah, so, and then there's always something that gets left, isn't there? Some more stuff that gets like, nothing works, is there? Yeah. So I've now logged into the back end, and as you can see, it's just a standard WordPress log cart. Oh, look, it's got the SureCart in.
I was going to say it's got SureCart in there, and it's got Spectra in there, both of which are products related to.
And Astra is
Adam Prizer. Yeah.
Astra's the theme that they apply. So, you know, it's good that it's Astra, because that's very well known and it's very well used. But if you're using something different, then you know that might be something you need to address. Maybe you want to look at changing the theme. So the other thing that I loved about this, which I thought was brilliant, is that if you go to the plugins, you can then actually add a new plugin. I love that they allow you to do this. So you can just add in the all-in-one migration, or whatever your favorite migration tool is. You can install it. Just take a wee second, activate it, and then you're ready right there and then to export the site as it is. And you can export it to file, download it, and Bob's your uncle, you can then move that onto your own server, or whatever your development areas, if you're doing that locally, or whether you've got a dev server, and then you can, you know, you've got it, you own it, it's fabulous. And you can then, because all those images, like you said, come from just downloading the files just now, the images come from Pixabay and stuff like that, so they're royalty free. It's a brilliant way to hand a client something and say, you know, here's your website, and then you can use some of the other tools that I use, what used to be a thing called mockups, but it's the type of thing where you can allow clients to add comments to the website. So they can actually go onto the website page, they can add a comment and say, change this to, you know, whatever they want. I don't want it to say join us. I want it to say visit us, and they'll add a comment there, and you can just change that button to suit whatever your client's wanting. And I think that's a brilliant way for, especially for clients who it's their first website and they haven't done very much, because we all know that building a website for us is easy, but actually for a client who's never done it before, it's a real eye-opener, and it can be quite traumatic for some of them.
So, I mean, from your workflow point of view, you could log on to this tool, ZipWP, create a website. This is a temporary website, so it'll disappear after a while, which is why you've then exported it to, you know, your own hosting environment, put it up there, it's then yours. And then you get clients using a tool to actually interact with the website and put their comments like a layer on top of the website. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And it's really easy to work with. I think there's a number of them out there. But I think the one I use now is called Sure Feedback. It used to be called Mockups or something like that. But there are other ones out there that people use, and some of them are actually free as well, so you can use them with clients. But if that's not how your client operates, and some of them don't, I've had clients who just could not use that type of tool. They want to work with a Word document. They can, you can do a Word document layout based on this, because you know what the layout is. You can just get the sections into your Word document and just say, send me your content, and they can change it to, or whatever is your favorite way of collecting content. So
do you think there's anything you'd like to see with this tool that it doesn't do at the moment? Because like I say, I'm very aware of how far it's progressed already. Are there some things that you'd also like to see?
Well, one of the things that we didn't do was head into the customize website. So we just took it as it was. So if I hit that button right now, you can see that actually it gives you a number of different things, options here. So you can actually change your color palette. We use the default one, but you could actually change it. There's a nice pink one, I've changed it, or a red or an orange, and it kind of changes in some cases, depending on the images used. It can sometimes, if there's an overlay, it will change. I don't see any overlays on these ones. That one's got a very slight pink tinge on it. When
you've used a color palette there to change the color of a button that's on the front page, and I'm assuming that's going to change the color of every single button. So it's kind of like a very easy way of using a CSS class.
Yes, exactly. I think you're asking about what would I like more. I'd like to be able to control these more rather than use their presets. I'd like to be able to put the hex numbers in and things like that. I think that would be really good to be able to do. Maybe you can do that with a paid version. I'm not sure. I haven't got that. Wireframe it, you can take it all to grayscale, which is actually quite nice if you're wanting to, not put your colors directly on it and then work on that later. And the other thing you can do is they have some font pairing that you can change the fonts to as well. So I think what I'd like to see is more customization options, even at the free level, because I think that would make it really useful. Because if you're only doing one every few months or whatever, then actually you're okay with the free one. I don't want to have to pay to get additional features here to customize, because then I'm just going to take that customization onto my own server with the output files, which means that you then have to get to know their structure and understand their structure and work within that. And that might be okay once you've done a few, but it would just be nice to have they've got so much nice stuff here. It would be, I think this bit lets them down a little bit.
Okay, but yeah, quite amazing. And one of the things, guys, watching and even listening to this podcast, we'd be really interested in some of the things that you think you could use this for. What do you think's missing in this particular tool? And we're looking at this tool, but it's not the only one that's doing these things. But it is a real good demonstration of how the use of AI is starting to impact in our industry, and what that could actually mean for for us? I mean, we get back into those discussions about, our web design is going to be made redundant, or are the ones that know what they're doing? Can they use this as a tool to enhance productivity?
Yeah, I think that's, again, I think it's, you still need a sensible person, don't you, to look at that and go, okay, well, there's, maybe there's some things that need to be changed here for conversion, or for, just to make this work a little bit better. And I have to be honest, I have not delved into the structure of it. So I haven't looked at their H1, H2, H3 tags and things like that. So I haven't, it might be that there is work still to be done in that as well. And maybe we can have an investigation of that when Mike's back, because he's our SEO expert in a lot of ways. And so he could maybe look at that and give us a little insight into the structure and whether it's good for SEO or whether it's got some work to do and some gotchas that we might need to look out for. But I just thought, as a workflow, something to use in your workflow, I think it's great. And I don't use Astra, but does this make me think about using Astra? Yeah, it does actually. So
yeah. And I think the thing is, I mean, Astra and indeed Spectra that's mentioned on the back end there. I mean, they're both available in the WordPress repository. It's not like we're talking about a walled garden here. So once you've got the site, if you want to convert it to a different theme, then along with all of the usual caveats that would be between theme conversion, you can do it. And obviously, if you want to have some advanced functionality, you're looking at your ACFs and things that are dynamic. Obviously, you can add that on afterwards. Maybe there'll come a point where that's all again part of the tool. But you've got that trade-off, haven't you, between making it simple and then providing so many options that it's fantastic, but it's no longer simple. So it's a great start, isn't it?
Yeah, I think one of the use cases that I thought about is those websites, and there's we do a subscription website, or a low cost website where you're maybe doing it for particular. We did that obviously for a church, or you could use it for a charity or a joiner or a plumber. You could have those almost set up as your templates ready to go.
You can see there are different possibilities here. So I think we're probably around a bit there on time for that, Gill. Thank you very much for being brave enough to do a live build. It's not like we pre-recorded this and then did it. That was live. So that takes a little bit of chutzpah to do. Thank you very much. And hey, guys, watching this, like I say, this episode was slightly different. I mean, we're trying to cover all sorts of different things in this podcast, from looking at, the business side, looking at the considerations. Last week, we had to talk about AI, which was partially technical, but partially also getting you to think about, legalities and other estimates. And here we've gone for, a demonstration of what you can actually do. So we would really like your feedback on the style of podcast that works for you. So please do, leave your comments, etc. And once again, Gill, thank you very much for taking us through that. Time for me and Gill to say goodbye. We'll see you guys next week. So enjoy and let us know what you think. Thanks very much.
Sure, bye, guys.
Hey guys, before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to make sure you don't miss another episode. Please leave us a like or a review. It truly makes a difference when you leave reviews. And head over to allegiantweb.com/podcast, where you'll find a full transcript of the show, some key points, and quite a few other goodies for you. Let's build this thing together and really make a difference. All right, catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.